There's a game that I wanted to discuss because it's about to come out. I did pre-order it. I'm
Did you
not
really?
I did, and I'm not.
I didn't know you'd pre-ordered things.
That's the thing. I don't. But I have an addiction. I'm gonna confess that addiction right now. So the game that is coming out is it's like Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. And this is the thing. I'm a Nintendo fan. I am. So everything that I say about Nintendo and everything I said about Zelda and everything I said about Star Wars, you guys have to take it with a grain of salt because I'm influenced by nostalgia and I'm influenced by a lot of dopamines in my head. So I do things that are not rationally correct. Like I don't encourage pre-ordering.
Nostalgia is a valid point to like things.
I don't know, man. There's something I feel sometimes wrong on doing this because Nintendo's like the Apple of gaming, pretty much, and I despise Apple with all my heart. But I have to be honest with you that the quality Nintendo brings to the table for the most part is always good. This game, though, it's basically a Koei, I believe that's the name of the house that is making it. It's basically a Dynasty Warriors type of game. I have played those in the past. I'm not a fan of Dynasty Warriors, but because they coded the thing with Zelda things, I cannot resist myself and I have to buy it. So I got it. And the thing is that I'm recently, I mean, the game is, at least at the recording of this video, the game is not out yet. It's about to come out pretty soon, but we got a demo and I have a first impressions with the demo. And I believe Chris saw it too. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to basically let you know how it feel about the game. Then I'm going to let Chris... actually, no. I'm gonna start with you, Chris. So I believe your girlfriend was playing it, right?
Yeah, but I have a history with both Hyrule Warriors and Dynasty Warriors too. So I mean, this morning, my girlfriend downloaded it, and I was watching her play. It looks great. My biggest concern for me, because the first Hyrule Warriors was already, in my opinion, the best Dynasty Warriors for people that are fans of the Koei Tecmo games.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was going to be improvements on it, and there very clearly are. I mean, just from the demo alone, like the supers looked so much more fluid and smooth. The way that Link does like the shield surfing and the somehow I'm forgetting what is the name of like the 4 or 5 main powers he has in Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? Like
they had the sword
stasis,
spin,
magnesis,
and what is the other one? Cryonesis, which is the cryo one, the ice.
The fact that he's got those in the powers and they come out just as moves, like dynamic, quick moves in this game versus Breath of the Wild, where it takes several seconds to summon it. Mm-hmm. It looked great. I mean, we'll definitely be getting the full game. To my original point, it looks better than the first Hyrule Warriors, which in my opinion was already the best Dynasty Warriors. So just as a game alone, if you're ignoring the fact that it's a Zelda game, it looks awesome.
Yeah, my thing is, and this is a confession, I pretty much got it for the story. I believe they sold it to me at the moment that they say this is Breath of the Wild prequel. I love Breath of the Wild, so by just that statement, me as a fan, I got hooked. I had to buy it. I'm not recommending anybody to buy it because of this reason, but that's why I did it. Like the Dynasty Warriors gameplay, to me, be honest with you, I don't really care. Like I'll play it. I'll go through it, and I did play it. And to be honest with you, I did not have a bad experience. I mean, to me, it's fun for what it is. It's just that, to be honest with you, it became a little bit repetitive. It's not my type of game. I don't play these games.
Which is the mindless grind, which I think is a very addicting.
Exactly.
I like that kind of game.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you two still playing that game now, or did you guys just put it to rest?
I'll finish the I mean, right now I just finished the demo, so there's nothing else for me to do until the whole game releases. But I just basically went through it as fast as I could, basically to see if I can learn everything as fast as I could, so when the game comes out, I can just continue my gameplay, because I believe it lets you carry what you played so far over to the new game and just get on with the story, because I just want to know what happened. That's my thing. Now I understand the people that might like this type of game are getting it for some other reasons. And don't get me wrong, if you like Dynasty Warriors, Chris is right. Chris is very right. This is one of the best you can get. The moves are very polished. The combos are fun. You get to play with a lot of amazing characters. I mean, I'm talking about Link, Zelda, all
Young
these.
Impa.
Yes, Nimpa, all the secondary. Nimpa to me is the best gameplay there is. Like, I don't know how to. I played with Link. I played with Zelda. She's very scholar, mystical. Impa, it's ninja style gameplay, hardcore. It's awesome. They did a good job with Impa. She's super fun.
Which is it's cool to see her in her 100 years before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. She looks way different, man. I don't know what happens when you get older in Breath of the Wild. Like your head start to get bigger, which doesn't make any sense. I think what happens to their heads when they get older? It's like their brain grows, they get skinnier. It's stupid.
Nintendo aging. That's all.
Nintendo aging is big heads. That's what it is. So I mean, when I was playing it, I couldn't actually recognize her at first. But then Impa, and she looks a little bit dorky, and that to me threw me off a little bit. On the game, she was way more wise. She was like a beacon of information, and she was very passive. I mean, super old, of course, like 100 years old. But in this game, she was like a teenager. So I don't know. It felt weird. Like his personality to me didn't click that much. Like I expect maybe that nativity to be like more. In line with Zelda's personality, not so much with hers. It was great.
I agree. I don't want to get on a theme of tangents unless it is interesting. But you know what will be exciting is when Manny is able to, or when he actually does play Breath of the Wild. When we have a stage where it's just Breath of the Wild. But,
yeah.
I mean, years after everybody else. That'll be really dope.
Yeah, because for those that don't know, and I believe we're a little bit too much into this topic already, but it's a prequel of what happened 100 years after, which was a post-apocalyptic world. So that world, it was filled with mysteries, and when Manny gets into that world, he will understand what we're talking about. That world looked deserted at some point. It was like, what the hell happened here? And pretty much the reason why I got so hyped about this game, even though it's not a directly Nintendo game, is mostly a Dynasty Warriors game, is because they're not offering me that story that I'm like, what happened here? And I want to know what happened here.
You already know if Nintendo's gonna like lend their IP to anybody, they're gonna have 50 guys like in the other studio making sure it's done correctly.
Yeah, as soon as they notice something funky, Nintendo's it's been known of just canceling the whole project. We're still waiting for Metroid Prime 4. So, that's how they are. That this is not working out, and we're willing to just restart the whole thing, and that's how they are. So I'm thinking that maybe there's a story to tell here. Maybe the story is going to be positive, and maybe the story was worth telling for them to release this game. That's why I'm getting it. But then again, if Dynasty Warriors is not your thing, then honestly, based on my experience, based on the gameplay, I'll say you stay away from this because it's not gonna be your game. If you do Dynasty Warriors style of game, it's not your thing.
I think it's worth a chance if Dynasty if you played a Dynasty Warriors and it wasn't your thing.
There's a demo.
Hyrule, first definitely go play the demo. It's free. You can't beat that. It takes 30 minutes or 15 minutes to download, whatever. But I would feel like someone who didn't like Dynasty Warriors, such as yourself, might enjoy Hyrule Warriors. I kind of like consider it sort of a bit of an evolution from Dynasty. I'm trying to think of a good comparison, like whenever a game goes from like their super alpha to like finished product. I don't know. And I haven't played it myself, so I could be wrong, but just watching, it looked so fun. Like it looked very fluid. It is mindless though.
But the look, it's the cuteness. It's Zelda game. It looks so much like Breath of the Wild. Like your brain for the human being, the brain, it's designed to get addicted to cuteness. So when you see these visuals, it looks like Breath of the Wild. Beautiful to the teeth. Beautiful game. Looks amazing.
As long as it's zapping dopamine into my brain, man. Like just whatever it's doing, do it right.
It is, and it will, and it works for a time. But then when you start playing it, I'm just concerned about the repetitiveness of the quest, of the grind. That's my concern because I know I'm gonna like it from the beginning. My brain is gonna be numb. Just basically zombie oh, Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I'm reliving all this story. This is great. But I know that at some point I'm gonna be like fighting maybe battle after battle after battle, like mob wave after mob wave after mob wave, and then it's gonna become to a point that's, oh my god, another one of these stages, and each stage of those lasts 35 minutes. Those are not like short stages. Like, damn. I was playing them very hard though. And dude, those stages were freaking battles. It's like 30, 35 minutes, 36 minutes sometimes. Maybe and again, I'm a new player to when it comes to Dynasty Warriors. Maybe I was playing at a slower pace. People might beat these stages maybe in 20, 25, but it was taking me 35 minutes per battle. So I don't know how many battles is in this, but I'm gonna be like in a long ride for grinding, especially that you have to get better gear. And I imagine that there's gonna be at some point like a wall that I must have to cross over because I'm not powerful enough, that I might have to actually grind my way out of that pickle, which is what concerns me. Just basically that it being repetitive concerns me a little bit, because then I'm just not gonna enjoy the story as much because I'm pretty much grinding my way out of this story.
I'd be curious because I like that, and I'd be curious to ask both of you. So I very much enjoy games like Destiny, for example, or Borderlands. Dynasty Warriors is a smaller example where it's just grinding. I love that. Do you guys not? I guess specifically Manny for sure. Do you have any Diablo, Gauntlet? Do you have any types of games like it? Do the grinding games do it for you or no?
No, I mean depending on the game, I'll step up to the challenge. Like for sure, Destiny, man. Like that was one of the games that I was like super heavily involved. Especially if you do like the group raids and all that stuff, man. You just get all this crazy gear, and it's not just like you don't necessarily have to do like story content with it. You can just verse other players that have like higher levels than you and just beat them with what you got. The Division was actually one of my favorite grinding games to do too. I'll still play that game from time to time. That's a pretty good one too. Yeah, Borderlands has been a minute since I haven't played it, but I mean, overall, yeah. On a nutshell, man, I'm depending on the game, I'm down for some grinding for sure. Just not Avengers. Just not Avengers. It's right now.
Not yet. Next year, maybe.